It is time to prepare to trade the best setups at the best prices. Going to be doing an in depth price action analysis on the SPY, going from the macro price action to the micro price action. Starting with the macro, we're going to be doing an in depth price action analysis on the monthly chart, then breaking it down to the weekly chart, then going more into the micro price action with the daily chart and the 10-day, 30-minute chart. By the end of this overall analysis, you will have the best game plan within the stock market, the best trade ideas on what levels to be trading at, what patterns to be looking for, what confirmations to use on these overall game plans to confirm if you can enter them, right? Along with automation levels, which means you could just automatically get in, it's already confirmed, and you will understand how to determine and confirm if the overall trend is going to be bullish or bearish, and how to determine and confirm if the market is going to have a trend reversal at a specific level. I'm going to walk you through step by step the newly updated price action analysis. In terms of last week, I had another flawless 100% success rate buying call options only. In terms of Sunday, I ended up buying ES at 6632, and it ended up spiking over 150 plus points from my entry. I ended up selling nearly 50 plus points a contract on ES. Not a single loss this year trading ES, mainly swing trading it, not day trading it in and out, typically in at night and then out the next morning. And then in terms of SPY, I had one trade on SPY call options. My trades last week on SPY were all 100% success rate wins, buying calls only, even on the overall bearish moves. In terms of today, I ended up buying SPY calls at the exact lows. Literally, the exact lows was my first trade. It was a phenomenal trade. Going to be showing you the trades towards the end. First things first, let's get into the best game plan within the stock market. So, in terms of the overall market, for those of you who watched my last analysis during the 30-minute mark, you are well aware on why I mentioned that I decided to sell the vast majority of my investments within the overall market, as I had explained to you that this year the market was going to drop to $600, and that would be the best level where I would be considered in terms of investing, for midterm swims to longer term investments, right? So, for those of you who stayed to the 30-minute plus mark of my last video, you are well aware how I brought a lot of awareness how the market has been faking out at $700, and this year it's bound to go to $600. And that last video was actually the first time that I mentioned that the market was going to be dropping to $600. And then, literally, right after I posted that video, the market started to sell off and started to already gravitate and crash rapidly towards that $600 mark already, right? So it's already happening, and it's a good thing that I sold the peak on the vast majority of those investments, because those stocks have dropped drastically since I've sold, and I'm going to be able to buy them at much lower prices within the future. But anyways, in terms of the overall SPY, and what I want you to understand is, you need to go back, because I'm not going to be going over that all over again in terms of the macro analysis. In terms of this channel, I like to keep the focus on the micro, but sometimes I'll talk about the macro and stuff like that. In terms of macro, I really like to keep the focus on just when it's the best time to overall invest. But who knows, in the future, maybe I'll talk about macro more on a regular basis, right? This is mainly day trading and trading overall in terms of consistently posting. But, anyways, in terms of the overall SPY, go back and watch the 30-minute chart if you want the full analysis and explanation on my macro analysis, because I still stand by that 100%. In terms of where I stand right now, within some time, the SPY will try to retest, you know, towards all-time highs. And I will say, when it heads back up above 690 to 697, that'll be the ultimate best level to be buying puts and to be swing trading puts. In terms of into this year, the market is still on track to hit $600. Once it hits $600, I would say, no matter what, that we're in an automation level currently to just be buying and swing trading and kind of holding for the mid to long term. In that particular situation, we should have a very strong bounce automatically. Once we hit 600, we're already having massive bounces at much higher levels when the market rapidly sells off. And like I said in the last analysis, when the market drops and hits 600, it's going to happen within a flash. Surely enough, it had its big drop and it already happened within a flash, right? So within time, we'll definitely be hitting that. But what I want you to understand is, based off of what I'm seeing on the monthly chart patterns, I'm seeing some gravitation. In terms of the gravitation that I'm seeing, whenever SPY forms these wicks, especially like these red trend reversal wicks or red facing down, over time, it tends to push back to the high of this wick. And one thing that I want to note is, When the SPY does decide to go back towards the high of this overall wick, I would say one of the best trade ideas you could do within the market. So, in order to use this information, you have to set price alerts, write it down, remember it when it happens, and when you use it, it's going to work the vast majority of the time. And I encourage you to use confirmations. But in terms of one of the best trade ideas that I have for you for the long term, like I said, this year we should drop to 600. The drop's not over within time. And when the drop happens, it's going to happen in a flash. So, for those of you who are in some long term puts, you should bank on those as you likely already have if you took the analysis. But in terms of our best long term put level, it remains above 690. So I would say 690. And if you're wondering the absolute best level, it is 697, which would be an automation level in between like 694 to 697, right? So 697 is your best level for puts. It should absolutely drop first time it tests when it hits. 690 is a phenomenal starter entry for those of you interested in swing trading. That is my first idea for those of you interested in like swing trading and kind of holding out once we get to that zone whenever it happens, right? Obviously, we could drop to 600 first, but we'll be getting more into that what's going to happen first once we get into the micro price action, right? So I'm starting off with the macro. Macro is we are in a very bearish signal, fake out overall market. When the market does decide to drop to 600, it will happen at the speed of light. A lot of people are going to get shaken. And when they get shaken and when we hit 600, that is when we are going to have the absolute craziest best bounce in the world. And as it does quickly drop to 600, it will have strong bounces first, despite going lower or trying to push higher for then created fake outs, right? Like another situation, it is going to be there's going to be an ultimate bull trap. And one of the best fake outs in history will occur when the SPY starts to break above 690, and especially when it hits 697, right? And then we'll be going into short term, whether that happens first or whether we go to 600 first. But what we do know is, in terms of just speaking off the macro, 690 plus and 697 is best level for puts, and 600 is best level for calls to investments for those of you who are, swing trade and long term investing, right? Um, from an investing standpoint, it doesn't make much sense to me to buy and hold stocks when SPY's at 680, knowing that this year it's going to go to 600. I could literally just take my gains, buy more shares at a lower price with much more limited downside. I literally gave you the bullet print for that. Um, if you go back to the 30-minute market last video, there's going to be a fortune to be fucking made when bulls get trapped long term, like they already are, in the 700 range, and then we drop back to 600. They all get fucked, they all panic, and then we buy fucking low and then we sell fucking higher, right? That's literally the blueprint. The blueprint now for swing traders and investors is to sell into fucking spikes and wait to fucking buy at 600. Stock prices are going to be drastically different when the SPY is trading at 700 and 600. So the smart money is going to be selling and taking profits and then rebuying at 6 fucking hundred and then selling into the mid 600 to 700 and then leaving runners for new all-time fucking highs, right? Smart money's already cashing out on all these fucking spikes. As I explained to you in last analysis, to shift in terms of shorting big spikes, be more aggressive on shorting the big spikes, and then still focus on buying the oversold dips on SPY. Because even when it pushes lower, even rapidly, it's going to have some nice big bounces before going lower, right? So, anyways, now that I brought some awareness to that we have a gravitational point that the market at some point will hit 697 to 690, and that's a great put zone. And we also have another gravitational point where the market is going to hit 600, and that's another buy zone, right? So what we know from a macro point of view is SPY will go to 690 to 697 and drop, and then SPY will go to 600 and then spike first, right? That's what we know in terms of gravitational. And that's based off of the monthly chart. And I explained to you why this right here also is a lot of failed breakouts. And this right here is a very bearish engulfing trend reversal signal, green, red, faked out at 700, reversal, drop back down to nice whole round number, break and retest 600, and then reversal. And then I explained to you the pattern. Go back to the 30-minute mark, watch the pattern, right? So that's what the macro tells us, right? And macro sometimes can lack in terms of timing. Well, when is it going to fucking happen, right? We know looking at a macro chart that there's gravitation and there's a magnet towards 700, and then that's where the market will crash. And then there's gravitation, there's a magnet towards 600, and then that's where the market will spike, right? And sometimes macro can give you clear confirmations on when it's going to happen, but at the end of the day, you have to break this down by the weekly chart, the daily chart, and the 30-minute chart to actually understand in terms of timing, right? And not every strategy within the market and not every asset class within the market, relies on timing. Obviously, if you're trading short term options, then yeah, you are relying on fucking timing. Timing is very, very important, right? But if you give yourself plenty of time, timing isn't as important. But whether you have timing or not with your system, it's always beneficial to have an understanding of timing in terms of overall markets. It's very advantageous to understand that. Not that you need perfect timing to make money within the stock market, but it is very important to know the right prices to get in, which I explained to you, in terms of like long-term puts and stuff like that above 690, and then long-term calls, also midterm, not just long-term, like midterm swings as well, like a month out, 600. I just gave you two free money plays where if you use this information, give yourself a little bit of time and swing trade, you should be green. And if you should be green and you're green, losing's a choice. And if you flip green to red, you chose to lose. You're already green. You already made money. So losing's genuinely a choice. If you choose to swing trade puts, give yourself some time above 690, 697 best entry, and then call 600. If you're wondering what I'm interested in doing, I'm very interested in making long-term swing trades on puts, you know, above 690, even mid 680s likely. Um, but in terms of what I think is going to be one of the most, that's going to be in terms of that trade idea, what's going to happen is when it hits, it's going to fucking crash to 600 at the speed of light. But first, it's just going to keep on trying to rapid spikes at our key bounce levels and then rapid sell-offs. Just think when SPY goes from 700 to 600, we're talking about a 100-point drop. It will likely happen within the span of 2 fucking weeks, literally 2 weeks. So if you have some long-term dated puts with some decent timing, you're gonna make a fucking fortune on that, right? It will likely happen within 2 weeks, not even a month. I would say absolute most 3 weeks to a month. It's gonna be a rapid, quick sell-off. And if I were to give you an accurate time frame, literally, in terms of when it does happen, 2 weeks. And then as traders, using the macro, using the micro, we'll have a better understanding on when it's actually gonna fucking happen, right? But if you have a system and a strategy where it gives you time within the market, you don't need to necessarily know when it's going to happen. But the better you time it, the more profit you can make in terms of trading options, right? Timing does matter, but entry is a very strong foundation. Start off with a good entry, then focus on the timing and stuff like that, right? So just wanted to clarify that, this video is going to give you a better understanding on when it will happen. But what I'm telling you is when it does happen, it'll likely sell off 100 fucking points within the span of 2 weeks, not even within a month. I would say at the most 3 weeks to a month, right? So when it does happen, and it's already fucking happening. So, you know, it's definitely on track to happen sooner than fucking later, you know? We're already literally first quarter into the fucking year and shit. So anyways, go back and watch the last video explains that. But look, now we're going to get into, so I gave you the macro ideas to swing trade. So now we're going to go into the weekly chart analysis, right? And like I said, what the monthly chart pattern is actually signaling is it is signaling that it could attempt to have a rapid spike first back towards all-time highs and then a massive fucking sell-off. So right now, currently, based off the monthly chart, it is more of a signal that push above like 685, 690, massive sell off, rather than just flush all the way down from here to 600. Right now, it is signaling that we are more likely within time to go back up towards this gravitational point, then sell off, rather than just drop straight back down to 600. That is what it's currently signaling right now. And then again, things can change, things can shift as I break it down. You have to stay to the end. If you don't stay to the end, then you're fucked. Don't watch. There's no point in fucking watching. I show you how I create this, and we go step by step. The people who don't get what it is that I fucking say, or the people who think I'm fucking wrong, are the fucking degenerates who don't stay to the fucking end. If you click on a video and you're not capable of staying to the fucking end, don't watch the fucking video. This isn't a fucking highlight fucking reel of fucking dopamine where you fucking swipe up. If that's what you're interested in fucking doing, then go swipe fucking up on some fucking degenerate fucking video, right? If you want to actually gain value from this, you have to watch the full video. That's just how it works. Because in terms of this channel, we actually value education and creating plans rather than just, okay, here's the levels, do this fucking degenerates. Like, no, we're actually gonna fucking teach people how we come up with this shit so they understand what it is that the fuck I'm saying and what it is that they choose to fucking do instead of just blindly trading off of whatever someone is, right? So, anyways, in terms of the weekly chart, this is what I want you to understand. The weekly chart is signaling very bullish, you know? And like I said, for those of you who stay towards the end, you get rewarded with the best information. And we're starting this off with macro, right? Macro is useful for swing traders and long-term investors. But it is also useful to keep in the back of the mind as you're trading because macro helps you understand in terms of what is the best thing to do in terms of overall environment for the month and for the week, which is what monthly and weekly charts can do. That's why I specifically said, if you watched the last video to the end, I specifically said, I'm going to be more aggressive on shorting the rips because within time, SPY is going to drop to 600. So it's signaling the best thing we could do is short rips towards our gravitational points and be hesitant on calls when calls are at middle prices. But I specifically said, even when the market has that rapid sell off, which it currently is, it literally already hit fucking near 50 points off the price target already in such a short period of time, it's still going to bounce at oversold levels. So if you watch the video, I literally said be more aggressive on shorting spikes and maintain being aggressive on buying oversold dips, but don't be aggressive in terms of buying calls at like medium ground or higher levels, right? And again, if you're going to do that, you need to use the best confirmations and stuff like that, especially when the market's in a situation where within time we're going to 600. Like the shit literally just dropped fucking 650s. And of course, I scooped that dip on ES with that 100 point plus fucking gap down. Anyone who knows me knows I was buying ES after that gap down 100 points, looking at this shit as free fucking money swing trade. Surely enough, I literally fucking did it. And I didn't even buy the exact lows, but I situated myself where I can comfortably hold if it has a big move against me because I know there's a magnet that's going to gravitate back towards the level. So yesterday, like at literally 7:37 p.m., I said, I'm in ES at 6632.50. There were members within the chat who already read that I was going to be making a trade because they study the curriculum and they're well aware. Like, dude, if fucking ES drops 100 points, William's going to be all over that fucking trade and sense the direction. And obviously, within an overall bullish market, and when it hits oversold levels first, it's going to try to fucking bounce, even when we do have that rapid, crazy fucking drop. You just have to know how to play and time this shit and how to situate yourself in the proper asset classes to hold, even if there's big drawdowns. So yeah, I bought at 6,632. This dropped fucking 50 points. This dropped 50 points from my entry, but it also went up 150 points from my entry. So did I sell? Did I get stopped out when I was down? No, I fucking held. I literally said when I got in, I said 6602 is the absolute best and lowest level. Right now, it's a great entry to buy and hold, right? So I chose to go with the right entry to buy and hold. And the reason why I did that is I don't need to get in at the exact fucking lows. And it was still a good risk to reward ratio. It was still a great entry. And I noticed there was so much upside. I literally said, dude, my profit target's at 6,690. The upside is fucking 60 plus points and ended up going up 150 fucking points from my entry, right? So I held through the, drawdown. I literally said ES dropped 48 points from my entry. Now I'm fucking green and I held through that shit. Sold at 6,684, right? So you don't have to time the bottom to be successful within the market. But surely enough, after not timing the exact bottom and selling for like a 50-point move, I ended up literally making a trade on SPY calls at 10:12 a.m. This was the exact lows of the day. The low of day today, I think, was at 10:11 a.m., right? So literally a minute after that, I bought 664 calls. Those closed literally 14 points in the money. Imagine buying calls at 200 cents and they closed 14 fucking points in the money. Those calls went up over 600 fucking percent from that entry, right? Sold for a nice win, and then I was done. I said, dude, I had a massive win on ES swing trading, making money in my sleep. And then I just bought SPY calls at the exact lows. I looked at what I did and I said, dude, the smartest move on a chessboard is to walk away. I had an amazing swing trade, made money in my sleep. And then my next trade, I bottom tick SPY and bought at the exact lows, right? So that's what I ended up doing today. Last week was 100% success rate buying calls only. But look, this is what you need to understand about the weekly chart. Weekly chart is signaling bullish gravitation towards 687, right? This is what the weekly chart is currently signaling. So when the SPY has this weekly facing down red candle like this, it tends to either top right here where it's at right now, or it tends to top at this wick right here. So it's either going to try to top towards 681 or 687.50, right? If you go back recently historically when it forms that candle, this is what it tends to fucking do. Red facing down, green bullish week, test the wick. Red trend reversal, green bullish week. If you look at the overall thickness of the candle, this like red thickness of the candle right here, this is identical. Go back to 519.25 right here. You're gonna see red facing down, green bullish hits the wick. Green bullish already hitting the wick, right? And if you just keep going back, this is similar, this is similar. If you just keep going back to the thickness of that red pointing down candle, here we go again. Red point down in candle, green bullish overall for 1 to 2 weeks, right? To retest the high of that wick. Similar retest. Look at this identical. SPY's downtrending, red facing down, green bullish, high to wick, right? So what the pattern is signaling is that the market within the next 1 to 2 weeks is going to be hitting 690, and then the best sell-off point is fucking all-time highs to fucking swing trade those puts. I mean, you could even start swing trading long-term puts, I would say, above fucking 689. It's a great entry. If you want the best entry, you know, um 697. If you go for the best entry, you might miss out on the move, right? But there's less risk, higher reward, right? Obviously, people with larger accounts always choose the greater entry, right? And then they scale in more aggressively if the best entry hits, and they might even buy a second strike, right? But there's levels to this game. It gets to a point where people aren't looking for the absolute best entries. They're not looking for the absolute best timing. They have an idea, they know it's a great trade. They take the trade. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's going to work regardless. And then if it hits that like perfect FOMO point of like, dude, this is the best entry possible, if you're missing out or whatever, this is the best entry possible, this is like the absolute best trade you can make, then they just take another position and they hold their previous position, or they just add to their previous position. That's what they fucking do, man. Motherfuckers with money who trade, they don't worry about, oh my gosh, I need to get in the best entry. They know what the best entry is, but if they see a great opportunity to make money with a great risk to reward, they take it, and then they get very aggressive if that best play overall hits. And you could always try to experiment for yourself, two portfolios. This portfolio, I'm going to do the absolute best entries only, automation levels, best risk to reward, lowest risk. And then this portfolio, I'm going to go with great plays that I know are like nearly a fucking guarantee and that are great overall plays, but I'm well aware it might not be the bottom, it might not be the top, right? There's different strategies. Some strategies focus on the exact bottom, other strategies focus on just great overall trade that is likely going to work. Now, obviously, in terms of being realistic within this market, when the market's this aggressive and this volatile, the only way to really get in at the exact lows or the exact highs is to focus on the macro. And that's why I said for the macro, 600 is best entry for calls and 697 is the best entry for puts, right? If the market is this aggressive, it's going to be extremely hard and challenging to get in at the exact lows and exact highs. So you have to make some adjustments to your trading. You're going to have to hold trades a bit longer when moves are this big, ideally hold a bit longer. And you're going to have to focus on the most strategic levels to be trading at, but understand, even though they're that strategic, it might not be the exact lows or highs, but another edge is just understanding the macro environment. If the macro environment says to short the overall big spikes, then you focus on best levels at big spikes, avoid the middle. And if the macro environment says buy the oversold dips, even if this is going to go lower within time to drop to 600, you buy the oversold dips because it's still going to try to bounce first, right? The middle is what's going to fuck everyone up in volatile times like this. You need to be focused on macro direction when trading in a high volatility situation, which means right now, like I said, best thing you can do is short high spikes and buy oversold dips, and understand you might not get in at the exact lows and exact highs. And you could always have your levels where you think the exact lows and exact highs are going to be. But like I said, people with money, they just do both, and then just kind of hold the trades out, and they worked. Like yesterday, I literally bought ES, dropped 50 fucking points, and then it went up 150 points. I didn't get stopped out. I didn't sell for a fucking loss. What's 50 points to someone who hasn't had a loss this year and is up over now 1200 fucking points on E fucking S, dude? If I'm up 1200 points, I can fucking lose multiple hundred points. It wouldn't even fucking scratch me. I'd be like, dude, I'm still up this amount and there's still this much time left in the fucking year. I'm fucking set. Like with the amount of fucking profit and points I made on ES, I'm set for the rest of the fucking year. Obviously everyone is, has their own risk tolerance on what they're comfortable in terms of giving back when they do have a bigger loss. But when you're up over 1,000 points and you haven't had one single loss, you know, a couple 100 point loss on one single trade, it's like it doesn't fucking sweat. And like I said, even when we drop to 600, I think it's gonna happen in a flash crash. I just think we're gonna still have these crazy fucking bounces before it happens, right? So what's gonna happen is we're just gonna keep on having these crazy bounces at lower and lower levels. That's what's gonna happen. People are gonna get trapped trying to rebuy the double bottom and stuff because shit's gonna hit the fan once we drop to 600. But if they just keep buying at the next new oversold level that is unfucking touched, they're going to be unfucking touchable because the market's just going to keep on fucking bouncing at that oversold level. People are going to be looking at the market, and what they need to understand is market's going to drop to 600. When it drops to 600, it's going to take out previous amazing dip buying levels and trap a lot of bulls. And then it's going to bounce at the levels that were not touched. And that's why I'm going to explain to you the best levels to be buying so you can remain untouchable within the market. So, what you need to understand is the weekly chart pattern is signaling within the next 1 to 2 weeks, the SPY is going to try to test 689. Now it's also signaling that this right here, right? So here, let's clear all this out here. It's signaling that this is a make or break fluctuation point. And in terms of the make or break fluctuation point, which means if SPY can't break above this level, then instead of it going back up to 689 within the next 1 to 2 weeks, it's going to try to have a massive sell off from 681. So 681 is make or break. Now, what you need to understand is if it continues to react as a ceiling, market's going to drop. It's not going to 690 within the next 1 to 2 weeks. Now, if the market decides to break above 681, form some higher support, react bullish, green bullish 30-minute candlestick pins, then we're going up to 690, right? So the main way to see if it's going to be safe looking at a weekly chart in terms of buying the breakout is to just wait for it to break above 681, wait for it to form some higher support, and then what you're doing from there is you're buying calls on break and retest levels with bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations, riding this up to the bullish wicks. And then when we're hitting the bullish wicks, you can look to swing trade puts aggressively, give it some time, and your best levels to swing trade puts are going to be up here towards 694 to 697. You cannot go wrong buying long term puts above 690. You cannot go wrong buying midterm to long term calls 605 to 600. The market will try to drop first at the higher levels and bounce first at the lower levels. That's the current environment, what we're in the weekly chart. So, what you need to understand is the market is deciding and it's at make or break. If it stays below 681, it maintains bearish, it starts to sell back off. If it breaks above 681, green flag on buying the break and retest for a bigger move to 689 and then within 2 weeks to 694, 697, right? So in order to get to 689 to 694 to 697, we need a break above 681. Break above 681, higher support, buy calls, break and retest. Until then, the market is considered make or break slash fake out, right? So until then, it's considered bearish and it's considered fake out and it's considered short the rips until we break above 681 fucking 1. For all you guys who want to buy the breakouts, which is one of the most dangerous thing and worst things you can actually do in this market. I told you, be aggressive with shorting those spikes. I told you, I literally said in my trading, I literally said in terms of my trading, I'm adjusting to being more aggressive on shorting the spikes because SPY is going to be on track to go to 600 with all the failed breakout confirmations when it hit 700, right? Which is why I sold the vast majority of my investments and took off almost nearly all my cash out of the market because I'm sitting here saying, dude, why the fuck would I be buying and holding stocks when SPY is nearly at 700? If I could wait for all the stocks to fucking crash at 600 and plus I already made profit, I could take the profit, I can get in at a lower entry, I can get a better risk to reward, and I could buy more shares at a lower fucking price. Only a fucking degenerate would say, oh no, just get some skin in the game at these much higher levels, even though it's going to drop more, and just buy less shares, don't take your profit, and being at higher prices, so you get trapped and you're down and you're exposed to more risk and you have less fucking shares. Brokies are the ones who have less fucking shares. So, anyways, what you need to understand is, you know, we are considered at a fake out short the rip environment until we break above 681. That's just the reality of the situation because at the end of the day, we still have a magnet towards 600, but we also still have a magnet at 697. And in order to hit that magnet at 697, we need a break and retest above 681. Until then, the magnet gravitates back towards 600, speaking from the macro. So, we're at a very important make or break level within the market. And the only way to be bullish, and again, you have to understand one of the most dangerous things is to be bullish at breakout levels, right? Because the market's bound to go to 600. Now, you do have to also understand this. You know, the market had a crazy bounce short term and it was on a crazy uptrend. So if you think about it, you know, we're fairly close to 690. And everyone knows 694, 697 is the best level for puts, so it can quickly ramp up there too, but only if it breaks and retest above 680 fucking 1, right? So that's what I want you to understand about the overall market. And in terms of the situation, let's get into this. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to actually get into the 10-day 30-minute chart, right? Now, before we get into the 10-day 30-minute chart, I'm going to quickly plug in my charger cuz my laptop is literally about to die. So give me one moment to do that. All right, so as I was saying, so what I want you to understand is this. If we get into the 10-day 30-minute chart, what we're going to do is now we're going to focus on micro levels and we're going to focus on patterns, which is going to give us a better understanding if, we're going to break above 681 and then go bullish for calls, which is something we got to be careful about because, you got to be very cautious buying calls at breakout levels. But one of the reasons why you might not have to be cautious in terms of buying breakout levels is simply because, you know, we're very close to 690s. So if you kind of thought about this, right? If SPY's at 680 and there's a magnet at 697, and then there's another magnet at 600, don't you think it's more likely and more probable that it goes to the closer magnet first, right? Because it's just so fucking close. You really think it's just gonna fucking flash crash to 600 before touching 697 again, right? It's just something to think about. Because if you look at it from a more likely standpoint, in terms of probabilities, it's far more likely to go to 690s rather than it is to 600 because we're just so much more closer and all it takes is a break above 681. But the catch is, it has to actually break above 681. That's why you can't be buying into false breakouts, holding hopes, right? So any fucking ways. Now we're gonna get into the juice, the timing, the confirmations, the levels, right? I've been explaining to you magnets and macro levels. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to get into the trading, right? Traders fucking society. This is it. I mean, I gave you some swing trading ideas. I gave you some information that you could use to your trading. There's a magnet at 697, there's a magnet at 600, and to be aggressive shorting spikes and to be aggressive buying oversold dip levels that have not been tested, that macro information helps with your day trading. I'm giving you the absolute best information available within the market, right? So anyways, we're at 670, 680. Market's having a small gap down. This doesn't mean anything with the moves we're having, right? So technically it's not really doing anything right now. It's basically flat. So the market's basically flat right now. The move's too small to determine anything. So all we can do is look at patterns and levels and also understand that we're very close to a magnet that's supposed to hit. Now, obviously, there's a other magnet that's supposed to hit. So, we're trying to determine and confirm which is going to hit first. But from a probability standpoint, since we're already so close to 690s, it's in that weekly chart pattern does signal bullish, but only if we break above 681. Break above 681 signals that the magnet at 697 hits first, market flies off a fucking cliff. Everyone's going to be wanting to swing trade puts if they didn't enter at 690 fucking 7, dude. Anything above 690, 694, 697, just fucking get some puts. Give it some time. Fucking print. SPY was just at 6 fucking 50. That's going to throw a lot of people off and it can quickly send the rocket above 681 back to all-time highs and then just fucking trap everyone again. And then when it goes above below 658, oh, fucking game over. Like, dude, market's trapping people. And the way to not get trapped is to focus on shorting, buying puts at overbought spikes and calls at oversold levels that have not been tested. Even when the market has that crazy flush, like it already did, this is just a picture of it. I literally told you, like, I literally said when the crash happens, it's going to happen very quickly. And look at how fast it happened 690 to 656. Half of the move happened in days. Do you understand? Half of a 100-point move happened in the span of fucking days. We didn't even drop to 600 yet, right? So what I'm telling you is those oversold levels where SPY's been bouncing at is going to trap bulls. Shit's going to get flushed and then it's going to bounce to the levels that people don't know about. And I'm going to show you the levels that they don't fucking know about. So you can buy and then sell where those degenerates got fucking trapped. You could be selling your calls for profit and then switching to fucking puts, riding it back down to that magnet. I'm gonna show you how to trade these fucking gravitational magnet points, right? So Above 681, look for a move to 683. If it's reacting bullish, buy calls. But look, let's get into the patterns, man. Let's get into the patterns because the patterns is really going to fucking help us, man. So it's signaling like a bullish spike and then another bull trap. That's what it's kind of signaling. I will say this isn't the best pattern to be working with currently on a 30-minute chart. I would say there is some lack. One comparison that gives it some clarity. Focus on February 5th. February 5th, February 6th, February 9th. Focus on that. It gives it some clarity. If we start forming this V shape, a U shape recovery, start breaking down, retesting, it's going to creep up to 690, 697, then flush again, right? Focus on February 5th in terms of one of the patterns. That's what I want you to focus on. Now that's the bullish pattern. And to be bullish, we really got to ramp above like this 681, start breaking 683 to get fucking crazy up there, right? So one pattern I want you to focus on is February 5th to February 9th. We had a break and retest at this V. So this is what I say, look, we gotta hold 676. If we're holding 676 and beginning to break above 681, forming support, buy the calls, So this is the key. SPY really needs to hold. So I told you like 681 is make or break, right? To maintain bullish in the make or break point, it needs to hold this. If SPY holds this, it's maintaining the thread of hanging on a thread of being bullish, right? If SPY breaks above this and retest and it held this, great confirmation to go long and to buy a breakout, which is something we're extremely cautious on doing, is buying calls on breakout because the market is closer towards the gravitational sell-off point of 690 to 697. But we also understand in terms of short-term timing and short-term plays, it's bound to go back to 697, so it's much more likely to happen sooner than fucking later because we're already so fucking close to the fucking level, right? So look, if we hold this, we maintain bullish. If we break above this, great confirmation to buy calls and go long, right? So that's the first overall trade idea. Now, if SPY stays below 681 and starts slipping the fuck under, this 674, that's when we really start to drop. And that's when we're going to want to be focused on puts, right? The main pattern that I could see that kind of relates to what the fuck is going on is this right here. Start on February 3rd, compare February 3rd to I would say beginning right around here to right around here, compare that. Sell off, spike, sell off, double bottom, spike, massive sell off, massive recovery, retest, sells off again, right? And that kind of maps out to what the fuck I said, which is like when this shit goes back to 690, 697, especially 694 plus, shit's gonna defend, we're gonna fall off a fucking cliff, right? Okay, so look, this is near perfect. Yeah, so this pattern is actually signaling that the magnet is going to be tested of 697 first rather than 600. And then in terms of just timing and volatility in the market and just how the market has been, everything is fucking signaling that it does go back to 690s first rather than dropping to 600 first, then going to 690s, right? It's actually more signaling with the spike and the strength and the volatility of the market that the most likely outcome within time is we go back to 690 to 697 first, then we drop to 600 rather than drop to 600 first, then go to 690. But once we go back to 600, the market's still going to hit fucking 690s anyways, right? So look, this is what the fuck it looks like. We got like some M, you see the similarities. Recover. Oh my gosh, dude, look at this, man. Just focus on the whole chart of January to now. Just look at this. Some M sell off, some M sell off, some V's, some U's, some fucks, V's, U's, fucks, right? Starts to recover. Dude, these M's sell off, M sell off, M sell off. Fuck it. And then look at this. Okay, so look at this. This is what the clearest one I could show you is this. Look at this like pattern where it drops, this like Batman. And then look at this like Batman. And then also this like fucked up M slash like Batman, right? Slanted sell off, slanted sell off, slanted sell off. You fucking see that shit? Now, if you look at the slanted sell off, you know, this shit It looks just like this, just like this. And then look, massive spike to the slanted sell off, massive sell off, pushes lower in price. So if you're looking at like this pattern right here at the top of this like Batman, right, it looks just like this. So what it's signaling is within time first, we go back up into the 690 range. And then once we start hitting, dude, 694 to 697, the whole fucking world should be swing trading puts with some times because we have so much downside potential. So like I said, automation levels, best fucking ideas in the market, free fucking money plays, swing trade, give yourself some time, puts above 690, starter entry, best entry 694, 697. You do what the fuck you want. The rich motherfuckers, they get in at starters. They don't pass up on that. If you want to be fucking perfect, best entry, best risk to reward ratio, might miss out on a great fucking play. Dude, I take great plays. I don't sleep on great plays, you know? I'm not going to sleep on a great play trying to get a perfect entry. I'll make another great play at a perfect entry and situate myself where I'm comfortable with the risk and I have 2 wins instead of one. If the best entry ended up hit, I don't miss out. Both the trades hit regardless, right? And then you can also have a separate account where you literally just do the best thing possible and compare the fucking results of, great entry versus literally the absolute best entry where it's just very unlikely to fucking not work, but it just boosts your fucking risk to reward to the fucking charts, and it also limits your downside. It's what system and what you want to optimize for. Obviously, traders with small accounts should just focus on what's doing best for that small account, and I would say to miss out on more plays rather than take great plays, take the absolute best ones if your account is fucking smaller. Because if you have a small account, you know you have less at bats. You got one shot at this. If it doesn't work out, you got to refund the account somehow, some way. Maybe not right away, but within some time and give it another fucking go. But if you're at that point where you don't have that cushion and you don't have all that fucking money to risk, then I would say do what's best for you. But at the end of the day, you can create whatever the fuck system you want to create with the information that I'm giving you and do what's best for you. Obviously, with people with money, they'll say, dude, this is a great trade. This is a great risk reward ratio. I'm not going to sit here and say, this other trade is better, but I'm still going to take that one. I'm still going to take the great trade because it's a great trade. It's gonna win regardless. Um, Even though it's not the greatest risk reward, the greatest level, like it just makes sense to enter. I'm not going to risk missing out on a great win for a better potential win. A win is a win. Being great is great. I don't need to miss out on being great to try to be a little greater. Right now, obviously, I could have separate accounts and look at the results and compare the other side of the spectrum. But dude, I'd rather have a great win and a best win rather than no fucking win, or just rather than a best fucking win, right? Or you can just have the best fucking wins. It's your choice. But man, I'd rather have two fucking wins. I'd rather have a great win and a best win, right? I could you could have multiple accounts doing this. So any fucking ways. Automation puts 694, 697, calls 600, right? If you just fucking dude, if you guys just do what I said with the swing trade shit, you're gonna outperform day traders. Day traders will have their wins and losses, but a lot of them are just gonna give their money back anyways within the market. But if you just entered at these automation fucking levels, and I'm gonna give you some automation day trade levels too, but those automation levels that I've given you are mainly swing trades. If you're gonna day trade them, 600 and 605 automated calls, 697 automated puts, right? Swing trade, you can look towards 690, 694, and then 697 best. But look, that's what the pattern is signaling. SPY's trying to do this V-shaped recovery, retest the high of this top right here. So we got the same top right here and basically the identical top right fucking here, the best entry for puts, right? So it's having a little V-shaped recovery within time, tries to go higher in terms of short term. It needs to hold 676, break above 681. Then we start to go back towards the high of this, pull back, higher support. Then we go back to the high of this, massive flush, right? So now let's discuss downside potential, right? And like I said, the most likely pattern of this outcome is if it holds 676, we're all looking to go long. So if SPY holds 676, begins to react bullish, we're looking to go long. Break above 678, we're looking to go long. Break above 681, we're looking to go long, right? Now, one thing I will say is, and you got to be careful about this, the market is going to try to drop first for a scalp on puts right here. This is a phenomenal level for puts. It's a break and retest level right around here. Um, you know, it's just what's making it a bit more difficult in terms of the overall levels is the volatility within the market, What simplifies it is going further back to levels that have not been reached, right? So when the market's this volatile, you need to wait for the perfect confirmations. Now, if we're at the absolute best level, you need to get the fuck in, right? So no hesitation at the best levels, but other levels, give the market some time, wait for the best confirmations. So 678 and 681, the market will try to drop first. You can keep your eyes on just bearish confirmations for quick trades in and out, especially I would say towards 682, 681. It's a break and reset zone. Market tries to drop first, and then within time, as long as we're holding above 676, 678, market pushes higher, breaks and resets. But this is a zone where this will try to drop first, right? So you can keep your eye on a quick put, nothing too crazy, right? Just understand if we hold 676 and begin to break above 678, maintain bullish, try to drop first here, break above 681, sends us to the fucking moon to 689, right? So all drop first levels. 682 is a drop first level, which could mean, just quick in and out scalp on puts, buy barely out of the money, sell in the money, quick scalp. Yeah, especially look, 682. 682 is one of your best levels to get in and out on puts. 681.50 to 682, in and out on puts. Great scalp. Keep your fucking eyes on 679. Quick in and out scalp. Not the best level, right? If we're holding 676, we're bound to touch 679, and we're also kind of bound to touch 682 and then attempt to break and retest. But at first, drop first here, drop first here. Remember that. Quick scalp on puts if you want to scalp against the trend quickly, right? So, it's a battle between maintaining bullish, maintaining bearish, and when we're maintaining bearish and maintaining bullish, right? So if we're maintaining bullish, 676 is holding, you buy calls. If it goes under, you buy puts, right? And then if it bounces off 676, you could try quick scalps against the trend, 679 and 682, right? And then when it breaks above 678 and retests and reacts bullish, you could buy a call. When it breaks above 681 reacts bullish, you could buy a call, right? Now, let's discuss this. If the market starts to go below 674, we're looking at a sell off, right? Now, it could try to have a nice little bounce right here. If you want to look to make a quick scalp on calls, got to be careful doing this, man, because you already know where I stand with the market. But look, this right here, you can keep your eyes on this level for a quick scalp on calls. 669, 669 to 670, quick bounce, maybe it tries to shoot up to 672. So, quick bounce here for calls, in and out. Keep an eye on this break and retest level. Look, it's very likely to bounce even if we go lower at 669. So, if you're wanting like a good call level, 669 in and out, and then a good put level in and out, 682, right? And that doesn't mean overall trend is that way. It means you're in and you're out. If you're up 10% and you go red, losing was a choice, and 10% is a nice whole round double digit fucking number. Don't choose to be a fuck up and be a degenerate when you're up 10% plus, right? Never give that back. Never go green to red. There's no point in being green if you choose to be fucking red, you know? So, anyways, in terms of our next level, let's see. Okay, this is fucking elite. We got an auto buy level on calls. All right, so an auto buy level here just came in. A consistent pattern that has been working very successfully is the break and retest, extended hours formation, normal test, right? So right here, extended hours, resistance, 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 all formed during extended hours. Breakout, retest right here, normal trading hours, successful continuation, right? So what is our next lower break and retest level that has not been tested, that's more oversold during that form during extended hours, that has not been tested during normal trading hours? I'm telling you, the cheat code, what you guys need to understand is in life, there's glitches, there's cheat codes to break the system, to get out of the matrix, right? And one of the best things I can tell you about the market is, especially when you're day trading, is to use strategies that formed during extended hours that have not been tested during normal trading hours. Once they are tested for the first time during normal trading hours, they tend to work out phenomenal. And I do this very simple. I use a break and retest system, right? If you do this, you're going to make a lot of money. It's going to be very simple. And you're going to be doing far more better than whatever the fuck you're doing, whether that's an indicator or you're listening to that person or you're doing whatever you think is fucking right. I'm telling you, if you do this one simple thing, your trading is going to fucking skyrocket and you're going to start questioning on why are you not just doing this one simple thing? It's the best thing you could literally do. Resistance, 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 resistance. You can look for resistance to form during extended hours. And then you look for a massive breakout during extended hours, also ideally continuation of normal trading hours, right? Keeps on breaking out. Then you look for a flash crash. The bigger the drop, the better. The quicker the drop, the more likely the overreaction reversal where this is going to work, right? So you want to find something that has resistance during extended hours, a massive breakout during extended hours, even better, more continuation during extended hours. But it's not more important for it to have more continuation during extended hours. The key to what I'm saying is you need a big move in a short period of time, and then you need that big move to correct itself. So this right here is resistance. This is an overreaction to the upside. This is an overreaction to the downside, right? With that overreaction to the downside, you need it to happen quick or even quicker than that overreaction to the upside, which it did. You could see the overreaction to the upside took 30, 60, 90, 120, right? In terms of the overreaction to the downside, it happened in fucking 30 minutes, dude. This shit in fucking 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes, went from 667 all the way to 662. That's what you need. You need a stabilized resistance level, and then you need momentum to begin to break out and build up gradually within time for massive moves. And then you just need a crazy fucking flash crash, very, very quicker than it went up, a lot quicker, right back to that break and retest level. And then you buy the fucking dip. And the next level that you can do that at is right fucking here. Look at this. This is genius. I'm literally giving you the map to fucking print. This is the fucking best blueprint ever. Look at this. It already worked during extended hours. And the last pattern that I showed you literally worked during extended hours. Take a look at this. This is resistance. This is the breakout. This is the retest. You see how it kind of retested towards this previous resistance right here, and then it pushed back up. And then during normal trading hours, it retested a little bit lower towards the original one right here, not towards this one, and then it pushed up, right? So look, this is your best zone. Your absolute best level is right here. 659. 659 to 658 zone is your best level. And then here it's going to try to bounce first. 660, nice keyhole round number. And look, it already worked out. Break, retest, higher support. See, it already worked during extended hours. Last time it already worked during extended hours, it pushed a little bit lower and then it bottomed during normal trading hours. So your absolute best entry is 659 to 658, you know? In a market this good and this volatile, you don't want to nickel and dime things, especially when confirmation's there. So 659 is that like great entry where you just want to get in. 659 is your absolute best entry. Excuse me, 658 is your absolute best entry. 659 is your great entry where you just get in. And then this level, we will try to bounce first, but it's not the best. 660, right? So this is your main zone to be buying calls. Now, the perfect middle ground is 659. But if you get the confirmation, just get the fuck in at the higher level. But regardless, 658 to 659 is an automation zone. This right here is a more quicker bounce zone at 660. That is where you buy fucking calls, get in, get out. You know, it should bounce first. Even if the SPY drops 10 plus points that day below that level, it should bounce first. And it should be a great scalp to get in and out on calls. You know, if you chose go green or red, fucking degenerate, don't trade. The point of fucking trading is to make a trade and you decide on what that means to you. What do you want to trade your money for? You know, do you want to trade your money for the best risk to reward ratio? Do you want to trade your money for this is a great trade, I'm comfortable with this? Do you want to trade your money for I need to get into exact lows? Different systems, different systems, different strategies, different DNA, different people, you know, different intellects, different emotions, different systems, different money, different bank balances. Everyone's fucking different. As a trader, you get to decide on how you trade your money, on what system you create for you as you evolve in your trading. This is the craziest thing about trading. Once you start to level up, you're going to see that it's such a big disconnect on the past version of you as a trader. Once you start to evolve and grow and make more money as a trader, everyone around you and even the past version of yourself is going to be so disconnected. You're going to look at these motherfuckers like, dude, these motherfuckers are either going to think I'm a fucking genius or they're going to think I'm fucking crazy or they just don't get it. You know, and that's not for them to fucking click and for them to fucking get it. It's just like the disconnect and the detach, it's on another fucking realm. Like there's no like there's levels to this game. And the more you evolve, you're gonna see on like how detached and disconnected you are from the old fucking shit that you were doing with fucking trading and also everyone fucking around you. You're gonna see like, dude, these people just they just don't get what the fuck I'm doing. That's why like everyone's on their different journey and different path. That's why people need to know the foundation of what they should be doing and what system they're creating and how they want to fucking trade, because that's important, man. You know, the answer isn't just to fucking follow someone, because everyone's on different levels and shit. It's not as simple as just fucking following someone, unless they have a foundation that gives someone a following of self-sufficiency. If it makes them self-sufficient and understands the level that they're on and the levels to progress to, then that would be something good to follow. But if someone's on a completely different fucking level than someone else, the only way to really do that is if you just kind of blindly followed alerts. That's it. And that doesn't work for a fuck ton of people. It just doesn't work out. You know, for large accounts, it fucking works fucking amazingly. But it's just something to understand as a trader. It's very important to understand that, because I'm telling you, the better you get and the more you evolve, the people around you, they're either just not gonna understand you, or they're just gonna be like, dude, you're fucking wrong. You don't know what the fuck you're talking. Like, there's just levels to this shit. To see every fucking thing that people don't fucking see, it's a completely different fucking realm. And like I said, another trade idea is you know, you can try a quick put if we go below this. If we start going below 673, we start going below 673, react bearish, you try a quick put here, right? You could try a quick call. Okay, look, quick call at 669. Be careful, use the best confirmation. It could easily blow through and it's not the best level. Quick put below 673. Below 673, puts. 669, eye for calls. Understand? It can drop a lot lower. Quick scalp in and out, not the best level. You can skip it if you like. Do not skip the put below 673. Calls 659, and you know, you can eye that 669 as well. But fucking calls 660 and 659, right? So, and like I said, man, you need to hit this idea on puts. If we go below 673, you need to scalp those fucking puts, right? So, anyways, oh, and this was actually very important. I skipped in the analysis, the daily chart, you know? That's the one thing that I skipped. So the daily chart, I mean, it's not the most important thing in terms of this pattern. So it doesn't really, it's not the, it's saying the previous day highs and the previous closing price are every fucking thing. If we hold the previous closing price and begin to break out above 682, 683, best confirmation for calls. Hold the previous closing price, 678, break above 683, buy calls, clean and simple. Now, in terms of puts, below 673, hit puts. You know, this is clearly signaling that slightly below previous closing price, 669 is a good dip buy in and out. And look, if we go below 669, hit the puts. That's another level. So look, below 673, hit a put. Below 669, hit a put. 669 is looking like a strong bounce first based off the daily chart. Hit a call. 658, 659 automated calls. You know, 669, it should bounce first. 673 below, it should drop first. If we hold previous closing price to 669 and the market fucking breaks above 681, hit the calls above the breakout. Drop first here, right? So just to sum this up, if the market holds 669, hit a call. And then after holding 669 or even 676, if it breaks above 682, hit a call. Drop below 673, hit a put, right? You get in, you get out, don't go too far out, set the profit stops, don't go green to red, right? Quick laser scalps, quick scalps. And then 658 to 659, hit a call. And then quick scalp against the trend, 682 first, 678 first, which means initial reaction first, in and out first when it's tested, especially 682. That's what I would say, man. If you're looking for the most great trades on calls, 669, quick trade on calls. If it starts to sell off below and stays under 672, then you hit the puts below like 600 and fucking 68, 67. Then you hit puts, ride this fucker down, super bearish flip. Then you hit calls 658, 659. If we hold 669, obviously you're hitting calls regardless, ideally, and then break above 672, you know, for continuation. But From there, if it held 669 and it breaks above 682, that's your second trade idea for calls. So look, 669 in and out calls. 2 point drop below 669, puts. 669 bounce. If it starts to break out above 672, you could try calls. Be extremely careful on that. Most confirmed way to try calls is a quick bounce on 669 and then a quick breakout above 682. But first, we drop first at 682, hit a put, right? Those are literally all the fucking trade ideas. It's fucking golden if you use that information. If you wrote down what the fuck I just said, you should fucking print. Um, Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go a bit further back and gonna give you some interesting levels that people aren't talking about. So so yeah, we all know 658, 659 automated calls, 669 quick scalp on calls. If the market held 669 and broke above 682, calls. 682 drop first puts, 679 drop first puts, right? We know what the best is out of that, right? They're not all created equally. We know what the best is. Long term and on long term macro idea swings, 690 starter puts. If you don't want to do starters, 694, 697. If you want to do the best, 690 fucking 7. When something's a macro trade, you don't aim for the absolute best because it gets to a point where, look, think about it like this. Risk to reward is very real, but missing out is very real as well. And it gets to a point where missing out doesn't even make fucking sense because you could just take a second trade and win on both, right? So you got to measure the scale and have perspective. 690 is a good level for put. 694 is a fucking amazing level for put where you should not pass up on the swing. And then 697 is absolute best, right? When they're that close, you don't risk missing out on that, especially when you have time, a system that gives you time, or you just have very high probability of the trade winning despite how much time you have, right? That's something traders got to understand is learning how to measure of like, okay, this isn't just the best risk to reward best level, but like what's a good level where like, dude, this is far more than good enough, right? And I'm not going to miss out on this great trade just because another level could hit, right? And then obviously the more time you let the chart develop, you actually are certain and know which one's going to fucking hit. But we also know what a good trade idea is regardless, and we also know automation, so it gets more fucking complex. But look, some interesting levels, man. That 659 to 660, you motherfuckers just need to smack calls at that zone and just get in and out, right? 669, we'll actually hold that a little bit longer. 669, you get in and out on a call. If it goes below 667, in and out on a fucking put. Dude, I'm giving the shit I'm spewing out is money. If you can't make money with this, don't trade, dude. Don't fucking trade. Like this shit is fucking this is a gold mine. This is the most genius is in terms of like stock market plan. This is the absolute best. If you use what the fuck I say, you should be green nearly every single time. So, you know, oh, 659 is a fucking gold mine, man. Look at the upside. Look at the extended hour support. Dude, this has this even been this oh my fucking gosh, this level, man. This is the fuck you money level, man. The people who don't set price alerts and don't trade at the fuck you money level, fuck them. Why the fuck are they trading? If you can't do what's best for you, why bother? You know? That's what I'm saying. Like if people want to eat shitty food, why even eat the best food? You know, why not just eat the best fucking food if people could afford it, or if they can? Like it's just like people are fucking degenerates, man. Like fucking do what's best for your money. Do what's best for fucking you. Fuck all this other shit. If people wanted to get ahead in life, they would analyze the situation and they would say, okay, you know, I'm not where I want to be in my life. What are the best things I can do that I can afford to do? You know, that keep me stable to get me to the next level. And then I keep on progressing and progressing and progressing, right? Not going too far out of the reach where you're not stable enough to sustain it. But most people are just going too far fucking down to ever get to a stability and level up to the fucking good things and fucking like, dude, motherfuckers need to print. Like, dude, it hasn't been tested during normal trading hours. I'm giving you the automation key. I'm giving you the fucking keys. I'm giving it like fucking when we drop to 658, 659, we are going to put in a large sum of money within the market. The same type of money that we're going to be putting in on this swing trade at 600. But dude, put it this way though. When the market drops to 600, I'm going to put in so much more money into these swing trades and investments. And then when the market hits 697, I'm going to be putting so much money into taking profits off. And if it doesn't hit 600 first, then I'm not taking profits off because I don't have much in it. I'm just going to be short. Either way, I'm shorting the living fuck out of it. But if I were long and shit hit above 690 and 694, I'm taking profits and then going short. If I'm not long, I'm still going fucking short. I'm still making money, even if I'm not taking fucking profit. I'm entering the next trade to take profit. Fucking a, man. Like we have, dude. There's just so much. The amount of winning is insane. Like it's hard to like document this shit and keep up with this shit because it's like, dude, we're winning so much. I don't want to sit here and just talk about all the winning. Like that's how like I'm disappearing. Like I got shit going on behind the fucking scenes. That's why I'm not posting videos. Like I'm doing major upgrades within my life, and you know, I'm not gonna be disclosing anything that I got going on. Normally I'd be more open about that, but I'm not gonna be saying anything about what I have going on. But I have a lot of different fucking things, amazing big things that I'm executing on. So yeah, it's just behind the scenes I'm not gonna be talking about within this video. This video is to give you the best information within the market. So, anyways, um, yeah, 658 to 659. That's literally it. That's the level. That's the best level. You buy calls at that level, you're gonna fucking bank. Same type of way you bank at 658 to 659. It's just the difference is 658 to 659, it's a rare trade. And some people might see it coming. If they trade the way that how I trade, it's just the way that I trade. Most people don't get to this way unless they watch me because I created this fucking shit. Like at the end of the day, the market gave us the candles, but my eyes, my brain, me analyzing, me thinking, me going into a level of such deep thought that most people will never even hit and reach because they're just not on that level, or some people have it but they don't know how to activate it. I've been in situations like that. There's a lot of intelligent people in this world, and they're not stupid. It's just they don't know how to fucking activate it, or some of them they might not even be aware of what they have, and it comes in burst, or like some of them they don't even understand what they fucking got yet. Everybody goes through shifts and phases of fucking evolutions. There's a lot of intelligent people in the world where it's like their shit is covered up. They're not even fucking aware, or they're just in the wrong fucking environment, or they don't have something to trigger or to activate that within them. Certain people do a lot better in like quiet, calmer environments. That's what I've been experimenting with. I've actually been experimenting how I perform in work in a calm, quiet place away from everything, but still close enough that has access to everything, because who the fuck wants to live away completely every fucking thing, right? Kind of like you live in a calm, quiet base, and then you enter like a city arena or wherever the fuck you want to enter, like a fun place where you either just have fun, live your life, or maybe you go there for work. Everyone's different. Some people prefer to work at home. It's different, right? Um, but yeah, and then some people fucking write directly in the city. That doesn't seem like the best move on a chessboard, especially for most people and high performing people. It's just too much going on, too much simulation. That's just more of like a fucking Airbnb short term stay, or just like music fucking video, have fun. It's not a stable place to fucking work, especially for people who live and work from home. But another thing is like a middle ground is like a base that's fairly close to where like you want to go into, but not close enough to where it just kind of fucking it's just fucking overkill and all that shit. But yeah, man, a lot of people do well, and a lot of successful people who do well, especially people who love cities and stuff. They either work directly in the city and then their base is further away, or they can work, or depending on the person, or they work from home and then they just enter the city, right? Because I've definitely noticed, like, if people live directly in a city, they really don't have a base. It's like they don't really have a home, especially if they're fucking working where they're living from. That's like a fucking overkill. But still, it's like they don't have a quiet base in a sense, unless they're really kind of just like working outside of their base in the city, but still they kind of lack that. Because if you're always in the city, you kind of lack, you know, a stable base where you can get away from that, and then the base, it's like not even a base, it's a place where you more retreat from. But a lot of successful people, they actually have calm environments that are quiet, slightly away from everything, right? Where you still have like some city energy or whatever energy you're looking for. Or some people prefer just a little bit further away, where they don't necessarily have all that city, as much as that city energy, that charge. Those types of people, especially high performers, they tend to do best in those environments where they're slightly away from it or a little bit further away from it, right? Balance is like slightly away, further away is like less of a balance for that, but some people do better with like less of that balance of like that city energy and charge. And then they go into the city to either work or to just live and have fun, right? Depends on if they're working from home or not. But yeah, that's something that I've been experimenting with. And you definitely get a lot more value, and you actually get a base, right? If you live slightly out of the city. It makes sense. Some of the most successful people that I've seen who love cities, They either work from the city or they work from home, but they always make sure usually that their base is a little bit out of the city. Because I'm telling you, living exactly in a city is fucking insane. It's a hard place to work from, especially if you work from home. Like for what I do, as of now, I can fairly just work from home. That's why I don't have like an office anywhere else because I really don't need it. If I needed it, I would get it, but I could just have a separate room just completely. So, but yeah, then if someone had a base and they need it, then they can get that too if they have the money for that, right? It's just is whatever the person wants. I'm just trying to explain to you guys like environmental things with trading that are important, man, because some people like environments have a major effect on how they work, how they think, how they see, how they trade. Like it's very, very important to have a stable base. Living directly in a city, especially if you work from your city base, very fucking chaotic and challenging. I can tell you that. But anyways, good balance is a little bit out of the action or even a bit further out. Balance or just slightly further out, just less away from more go into that arena shit, city shit. So, anyways, yeah, that's everything I pretty much had to say in terms of this video. But that 659 to 658 level is our best level. And I'm gonna go further back. We'll give you some more. Let's see. So yeah, 658, 659 is break and retest that has not been tested during normal trade hours, formed during extended, and that formed multiple times. Now to go a little bit further back, so when we do take out 658, this is your next level. Here we go, 650. So actually, no, it's not even no because they had a break and retest already. It's not. No, you can keep your eyes on it, but there's nothing unique or special about 649. Look, let's find so look, the unique and special level that nobody's talking about is 658 to 659. Just automatically buy calls there. And then look, I'll give you the next one. I'll give you the next one right here. This one. So let's go back. 649, keep your eyes on it. You need the best confirmation. It will try to bounce first before going lower, but it's not the best. Okay, so this right here. We found it. So this is it. All right, so 648 to 646 is your next best levels. I really don't need to go back further than that because you got to keep on watching and stay along. I'm not going to go all that macro. So look, 659 buy calls automatically. Once it flushes under, then we go to 650, 648 to 646 buy calls automatically. If you do what the fuck I just said and just do what's best, you should be green, you know? So if you can't be green doing what's great, choose to be green doing what's best. Losing's a personal choice. Man, you got some great trade ideas, but I'm still red. All right, then take the best ones. And if you're still red, then dude, get the fuck out of the market. Honestly, if I have a great idea that works and you're red, fine, fucking fine, you're red. Fuck it. You know, I could teach people, I could train them, I could do my absolute best to get them green on the great trades. But dude, if you are fucking red on the absolute best ideas, swing trade puts 694, 697. Oh, but I want the best 697. But in terms of that fluctuation, dude, just get the fucking 694. Swing trade calls 600, 605. Absolute best. 659 automated calls, absolute best. 648 to 650 absolute calls, automated best. Dude, everything I'm fucking telling you is gonna age like fine fucking wine. It's gonna age like station fucking stone. It's gonna be a genuine embarrassment to anyone who has some shit to say on my fucking name because I'm giving out household information of the absolute best. And there's people and there's traders, traders, they trade. That's what they fucking do. Some people make fucking 100 trades a fucking day, right? That's right. Like some people are good enough to not just do the best thing to fucking do. And then you could also say, well, some people are disciplined enough to do just the best thing to fucking do. But you can have two accounts and be successful in both, right? But obviously, if you wanted the best result, you could just optimize for the best thing to do. And if you do the best thing to do, one of the advantages about it is I don't think you have to be as smart or as like waiting as a confirmation. It's kind of already confirmed in a sense. It's kind of already going to work out. It's kind of like even if it doesn't work, it does work very quickly. So if you got in, you held, and you got out for a profit, whether you set a profit stop or sold for a quick win, you still fucking won. Maybe it doesn't work out all the time as like big as you wanted it to, but it still fucking worked if you got in and out. That's the biggest advantage to scalping. The biggest advantage to scalping is it's like you can nearly be right almost every single fucking time. If you just manage your risk accordingly and understand the proper risk of what you're willing to risk, whether that's a perceived stop loss or whether that's letting a contract expire where it goes to zero, it's like you know what the fuck to do. So I just shared with you the absolute best trade ideas. So what I would say from here is the ball's in your court on what system you want to do. And like I said, you could literally create two portfolios. You could say, dude, I'm gonna have one portfolio where I'm gonna focus on trading on what he says is great and use confirmations and not enter all those trades. And then I'm gonna have another portfolio where what he says is best and just do what was best. And then you use everything you know about trading, apply it to fucking that, apply it to the shit that I fucking said, dude. You need a fucking rock star. You're gonna be printing money at the speed of light, questioning on how the fuck you could even be read with everything that I'm saying is working so right. You know, the truth comes out. You're going to see on all this fucking ages, dude. The people who don't see my true genius, like, they're either fucking blind, they're not fucking ready for the light, or they just don't watch the videos. They don't watch the videos till the fucking end, dude. I get comments all the time. People are saying, like, dude, this guy's wrong. This guy don't know what he's talking about. I'm like, dude, did this motherfucker go to fucking 30-minute mark last like I'm sitting here telling motherfuckers market's about to drop to fucking 600 this fucking year. As soon as the first time I say it, it already drops 50 fucking points. Like the fucking, I'm literally saying short spikes, oversold dips, everything. It's not by accident. I'm buying SPY calls at 100% success rate in a market that just went from 700 to 650. Most people would have gotten fucked. Most bulls would have gotten destroyed. Me, I had 100% success rate. I fucking killed it last week. And man, I was fucking ecstatic. Look at how fucking excited I was today. Dude, it's fucking, I was doing this all last week. I didn't get trapped once. You understand? Some people in this world can't be fucking gotten. They can't be got. Like, oh, I got you. No, they can't be fucking trapped. They can't be fucking gotten. And if they ever found themselves in that situation, usually they just fucking level up from it. Like it's fucking, they just level up like fucking crazy fucking from it. It's like, dude, I can't be fucking trapped. How the fuck can I be got? How the fuck can I be trapped? I made over 1,200 points on ES this year. What's it gonna do? Drop 200 points? Oh, 200. Who gives a fuck? Well, fucking 1,200. Fucking like we still got fucking like, dude. We have all the time in the fucking world left this year. The fuck? Look at this shit, man. Fucking nobody's doing this shit. Nobody wins and prints this fucking much. Like absolutely fucking nobody, man. We're literally trading at fucking night. Go back to my track record on fucking the past 2 weeks. All my trades have been flawless, 100% success rates. ES 7:37 p.m. I bought this shit the fucking not even at the lows, And I warned people. This was my warning. 602 was the best level. It only dropped 18 points from my best level, which is good if you're buying and holding because the shit went up fucking 200 points almost from my best level. You know, a lot of people say, well, this dropped a lot, but did it go up a lot more? Did you hold the trade? Did you manage your risk? Dude, we put ourselves in situations where we could just hold these trades to infinity, despite how big they drop. Because the most we risk is what we put in, and not just that. Our wins are so fucking big, we could just hold our trades, dude. No matter fucking what. If they fucking we could just hold our risk. Our wins are so fucking massive with us adding to wins, setting profit stops, holding trades, winning bigs. Dude, I'm doing this shit in my sleep. I saw motherfuckers in the chat. They were all freaking the fuck out, and they were all swaying away from fucking loans and buying fucking ES. I was sitting here fucking saying, dude, we all need to buy. I was sitting here saying, dude, this is like a free money play. Who gives a fuck if it drops 100 points? Because I'm sitting here saying, dude, this shit's gonna go back up quickly any fucking ways. This shit's gonna recover any fucking ways. Who gives a fuck about buying the exact fucking lows? If you don't have money, don't trade. If you can't afford a drawdown, don't trade. If you want to be perfect, fine. Go ahead. Try to be perfect. Try to do what's best for you. The market will surprise you here and now and then. You still need a system, right? You can try to do what's best for you, but it's like, dude, rich motherfuckers, they get in. That's what they fucking do. It gets to a point with money and wealth and trading. It's like, dude, if I'm looking at a price and I'm sitting here saying, this could drop 50 more points, but if I enter now, I'm going to make at least 100 points. If I'm sitting here saying it's a near guarantee, do you think I'm going to risk missing out on that? No, I'm going to situate myself where I'm going to, be able to make another trade or add to my trade, with zero options, we usually add to another trade, but I'm gonna situate myself where I can make both trades. That's what I'm gonna do. And each portfolio has different systems. You guys do what the fuck you want. Obviously, small accounts have less options, so for them, it's likely best to just do the best fucking thing. Do the easiest, best fucking thing. That's just so much of a near guarantee to make money. Where it's like, dude, you look in the fucking mirror and you look at shame if you're fucking red. You're sitting here saying, dude, this shit's working out near perfect. What this guy said with his best levels and near perfect shit worked to an exact T. How the fuck am I red? How are you still losing money? Like what is it? Like if you're ending red, how are you ending the week red? How are you ending the month red? Are you making money on the best trades and then giving it back on good trades or great trades? Like and then how the fuck, dude? If someone's losing money on the best trades, don't even trade. Like, I'm giving people trade ideas. They could be blindfolded and make fucking money. If they're losing money on that shit, they have no business on the strategic shit. If you can't even be profitable with a simple instruction of do this, it's going to work the vast majority of the time. You don't even need to know what the fuck you're doing in terms of like obviously you need a system, you need to understand risk management, but in terms of like enter here and then exit here, set prop, you don't need to like shit, you don't need to know much. You could just kind of like blindly follow. It's like, dude, if you can't be profitable with that shit, you don't have much business trying to be profitable with the strategic shit. That's just not as great. Like if something's so fucking simple and easy to fucking do and it works the vast majority of the time, you don't have to be a fucking genius. You don't have to wait for confirmations already fucking confirmed. It's like, dude, it's all automated. You get in, you get out, you do what you can do. Like the fuck, if people are red on that shit, they have no business on the fucking strategic shit that requires your fucking brain to fucking work and on function and be on fucking point. But obviously, you still need that shit despite the blindfolded shit because trading isn't just enter and fucking exit, even though entry is fucking important. It's fucking, dude, you got no risk management. We keep risk management very simple. But look, profit target 6,690 tomorrow. I told all these motherfuckers, all we do is win. I line them for the best trades possible. Fuck, my trades are dropping sometimes 48 points. I'm still green. Who the fuck is still green on a 50-point drawdown? Motherfuckers are getting stopped out. Motherfuckers are selling for loss. Me, dude, I'm not fucking 1,200 points. I don't give a fuck about 50. Here, take 50. I'm gonna be up another 100 if I hold this shit. Fuck. You think someone who's confident in their trade backs out of that trade when it goes against them? They hold it, they let it play out, you know? But going green to red is a different story. If you go green to red, you're a fucking degenerate. But real traders, when a trade goes against them, they don't get stopped out. No. They have a system that says, okay, I'm going to hold this trade. If you can't hold your trades, you're trading the wrong asset classes or you're not winning big enough, you know? People who don't win big set stop losses and sell quickly. Well, if you do that, the fuck? You need to have a very tight stop loss, and your big wins are more of reflective of your losses, which is fucking degenerate. Dude, our wins are so much more bigger than our losses. It doesn't fucking matter how much we fucking lose. It doesn't fucking matter if we have a stop loss on or not. Like, if anything, a stop loss is degenerate for us because the vast majority of our trades that go down first come back to life any fucking ways. And then we add to winners, which makes them double to triple the gains. And the gains are much bigger percentage wise than the losses. So, look, get with the system, get on the shit that we're on. It's the first thing down below the description. If you want to trade alongside us, it's unlimited winning, it's unlimited printing, nonstop, dude. 10, 12 a.m. This is where I bought calls. The exact lows, a minute before the exact lows. Shit went straight the fuck up all day. That was at fucking 10, 12 a.m. where I alerted those calls. So that's what I did today. In my sleep, I bought ES, swing traded it, 50 points. It went up fucking 150 points from my entry. You know, um, and then I bought spy calls at the exact lows. I just think there's not another person on this fucking planet who did or said what the fuck I just said. So like that's what the fuck I did. Last week, I just won on calls only. And my video was on point. Literally, it's fucking, isn't it crazy how like the first time I mentioned this year how I was absolutely certain the SPY will drop to 600. 700 is confirmed bearish, too much resistance. Within time, we will drop to 600. That's where I'm going to invest. Sold the vast majority of my investments, mainly cash, waiting to buy back in at 600 because I was already up very nice profits on fucking Moderna and other stocks that I, bought. Shout out to all the motherfuckers who bought Moderna. We were buying this one in mid fucking 30s to low fucking 40s, dude. Oh my gosh, we fucking killed it on this play. It went to fucking 60, For those of you who watch my videos to the ends, the fucking real ones who are not fucking degenerates, like, dude, these people don't watch my videos to the end, commenting some bullshit. I'm looking at these people like, dude, these motherfuckers don't understand who or what the fuck they're talking to, That's why comments are so degenerate. It's like literally some people, the way they comment, it's just like they're reacting to some shit that you said. I'm just like, dude, this fucking degenerate didn't stay to the mark where I said this and how shit played out. Like people just fucking, they're just comments. It's like just fucking bots. Just reacting, react. If these motherfuckers watch the video to the end and played the shit I played out, like, dude, we made so much fucking money on Moderna. We were buying this in mid 30s and mid fucking 40s, man. Same way I told everyone in 2020 to buy this when it was in the fucking 50s and the shit went to fucking 500. We made a fuck ton on fucking mRNA. This was the most legendary fucking swing trade you could have made, you know? And within current market conditions, even though Moderna doesn't necessarily follow the markets, like, dude, I got to play it safe and lock in gains. I still got some runners on this, but like I said, I'm mainly cash. I nearly sold every fucking thing because I'm looking at this, I'm saying, dude, if SPY can rapidly drop to 600, instead of stomaching that drawdown, I could just not stomach that, not take the risk in case that blows through 600, which it likely won't, right? But at the end of the day, nothing's guaranteed, you know, and every once in a while, some crazy shit happens, right? I don't want to get trapped. Like, you're not trapping me. I want the best risk reward ratio. I want what's best for my, especially if I'm holding. That's another thing that long term investors got wrong. All these fucking long term investors, a lot of them don't give a shit about timing. A lot of them don't give a shit about entry. I'm sitting here saying, dude, if I'm invested into like stocks that follow SPY and SPY is nearly at 700 and it's saying that this is going to drop to 600, do you think I'm going to hold? The only way I'm fucking holding is if I'm up like 100% plus or multiple 100% plus on something that I feel comfortable holding for several years. That's the only way I'm holding because my entry is just so elite that's not going to be retested, right? But if my entry is likely to be retested or go lower, then I'm taking fucking profit every fucking time and buying at lower prices with less risk and higher fucking rewards. Less risk, higher rewards, cheaper share price, already taken profit, buy more shares, lower price, less risk, higher reward. Most investors don't comprende, you know? But like I said, that's for like long-term swing trading and leaps too. So, anyways, man, this play we fucking crushed it on. Um, you guys should get in the group and just see for your fucking self on just like how much winning there is. Like, there's just so much winning. Like, I don't even have the time to fucking post the amount of fucking winning we are. I'm like, dude, if people want to see how much winning we're, just join the group. It's all in the fucking group. Like, we don't have to show shit. Like, it's in the group. Like, you want to see what we're doing? Look, this is what we're doing. You want to see? Look, one of our members, they tagged me. You want to see why they tagged me? I'll show you why the fuck they tagged me. Look, people listen, people get results, people trade from themselves, people print. Look at this. Moderna, 33 calls. April 17th expiration. You see this? Look at the results. 700% return. I'm sitting here saying, dude, I got degenerates bitching in my comments, and I'm making the absolute best comment. I'm sitting here saying, dude, are these even real people? Are these fucking bots? Are these just people who react? Fucking degenerates? Oh, I watched a little clip in your video and I gave a little reaction comment, but I didn't stay till the end and saw where you said this or where this happened. Fucking degenerates. I'm sitting here saying, dude, I told motherfuckers if they went back and watched my comment, I was screaming about Moderna. And I looked at the vast majority of the comments. I'm like, dude, only one person commented it, you know? And then I'm looking in the group, I'm saying, oh, not a lot of people in the group posted it. But then again, privacy is privacy. You know, if people want to stay private, all the power to them. I support that. You know, I support what people want to be. I support that. If someone wants to be private and not post about it, I think they're doing the right decision. That's the right thing for them to do. It's not to fucking please me or to try to serve me. If someone wants to post about it and bring awareness to a trade that they made or like show appreciation or they just want to post it, then good. They're doing the right thing. Whatever's right for them. Like I could give, that's up to them. But you know, we got the rare selective group who actually listens and gets results. I saw another comment they were raving about, dude, Moderna worked. I fucking killed it. I was like, damn, all this positive shit that I'm doing, it seems like most people have nothing to say about it and they're just privately working in the shadows and making fucking bank. And then other people, a very small selective group, they post about it and then they're killing it. And then you got more of a majority or just the other group of people in general who just react, who are just fucking broke, just fucking hating, just fucking negative. They just react. They just react. Oh, you said this, and they just give a little reaction. I'm like, dude, did you watch a full video? Fucking degenerates. I'm giving absolute best information. The fuck? You think I'm gonna sit here and give the best information and just a little summary in 30 seconds? Dude, if I did that, that shit should be worth a fucking fortune. If I did that for free, fuck that. But at least by making it just not that simple and easy where someone could just fucking, oh, 30 seconds here, boom, 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 do this. That's worth a fuck ton of money. But at least with this, like, yeah, it takes people's time up, but at least they get to learn how the fuck I do it and how the fuck I create it, you know, but I get it. That's a different business for what I'm talking about. And if you think I'm going to give that shit away for free, you're fucking like, there's no fucking way. if I create an hour video of like showing you how I come up with how I come up, I'm not gonna give like a 1 minute snippet for fucking free. Like fuck that. That's a business in itself. And then some motherfucker will then try to go off and start a business with all my gold, just giving snippets of what the fuck I just said. Like, dude, this is a crazy fucking world, man. But anyways, man, you guys should join our group. It's the first thing down below in the description. Cheap, low risk, far out of the money, zero date options. That's what we do. We have the highest win rate in the game. We're known for selling deep in the money. We got the best trades in the game. It's real time winning nonstop. ES futures trades when the market's closed, when the market's open, zero date options, cheap, low risk, far out of the money, zero date options. Um, I typically make like 2 trades a day. Every once in a while I won't trade for the day, which is fucking awesome. But yeah, I typically make like 2 trades per day on average. Best setups at best prices. GROAR, real time zero date option trade alert system. And he goes further out of the money. He'll make more, usually 3 to 5 on rare days, more than less. Could be like fucking 6 to 10 on those very rare days. But yeah, real time zero date option trade alert system, best real time zero date options trading company to ever exist and community to ever fucking exist with zero date options trade alert system. Um, and you're just gonna see we win and we print 24/7. If you joined our group, you would kind of understand on like why there's times on why I'm not posting consistently is because like we're winning so much in here and like I have a lot of shit going on in my life. So if you kind of think about it, like the group comes first, the paying clients, the paying customers, and like we're working our asses off and we're winning all fucking day. So like, it's like we already won. We don't need to like come on here and talk about all our winning, but I get it. We can come on here and talk about the plans, education, stuff like that. But it's like, dude, we're doing so much as it is already, right? And there's just things going on in my life right now where I would say very, very soon I'm going to be able to operate towards very close to my absolute fullest potential and locked in and going all fucking in. I just have so much going on right now. I just haven't been able to post as much, But this year, very soon, I will be locking in for sure. That's something I'm definitely looking to do. I've just been experimenting a lot with living situations, just where I want to live, how I want to live, you know, what buildings I want to live. Like I don't want to live in a house right now. I'm not in a house era. I have no interest in a house right now. Maybe in the future, but I have no interest in that right now. So, just in deciding on like, just buildings I want to live in, locations I want to live in and stuff like that. It's not the easiest for me because, dude, I fucking see and feel and think every fucking thing. I'm experimenting in multiple fucking places, man. Having an absolute home base is not the easiest thing, man. I've lived in places where I literally left within a week and never looked back and just moved on to the next. I've done that multiple times within my life. Like it's fucking insane on how fast I can shift and change environments, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I've learned a lot. I figured out a lot, and big major moves are coming very soon where I'm just going to be more locked in and more stable to the game. And part of our game is our business, which means consistently posting the absolute best content, you know, and creating the highest quality content. Because at the end of the day, in terms of being in business and this whole trading shit, every business is different, right? But an interesting business is where you post every single day about the market. It is an interesting business model. Not saying it's the best, but it is interested in terms of trading stocks. If we were to take out all of social media, all the flash, all the illusion, all the bullshit, all the lifestyle marketing, all the la da da da, it's like, dude, who's going to have the best daily market analysis? And obviously, that's something that I'm interested in. Obviously, I don't enjoy in terms of as much talking about the market when there's not much going on because there's not much to be said. It's just more of educating people of this is why we're not doing anything. Whereas I would rather prefer to just not do that and do whatever the fuck I want. But by all means, it's my choice on how I structure my business, how I operate my social media channels. It's just there's a lot going on in my life right now, but I'm making, important decisions that are going to basically not just excel my life, but excel this channel a lot. It's just taking time, experimenting, and it's costing a fuck ton of money too. With all the experiments I've literally done in the past month that I'm not disclosing or anything, it's like, dude, if I wrote a book or fucking documentary, people wouldn't believe the amount of shit or things that have happened in my life in the past, like especially just in the area I'm living in too. Like it's fucking insane. But look, anyways, you guys need to join the group. You know, um, life's fucking amazing. Life's more than watching videos. You guys need to start trading. You need to start experimenting the community, start experiencing the community, and see if this is the right fit for you. It's very revealing and truthful to see if trading's for you, dude. If you can't even be profitable with just doing what's best for you, look, do what I say is best. Have a separate portfolio for that, and then come back to me in my motherfucking comments. You know, most people do it. They print. They're quiet. They have nothing to say. Some people, they share results, they share testimonials, they thank me. It is what it is. I can't force people to do anything. At the end of the day, I think it's best for what's best for them. You know, some people they're better off private, good. You know, some people they let me know and they give me updates, good. Whatever's best for you. You know, I'm not. People don't owe me anything. You know, they use my stuff to their advantage. If they feel the need to tell me or something like that, if and that works for them, cool, tell me, you know? If not, then just keep it to yourself. That's completely fine. And then there's other degenerates who literally use my stuff to start businesses and give me no credit or try to be an associated with me and trash me. Like, dude, some people are just shit. It's a horrible industry in certain realms. But we're keeping our shit as secure as it gets. Nobody can fuck with us. Nobody can stop with us. It goes on 24 fucking 7 and it's just winning, man. Like that's another thing I'm telling you, like when you win so much financially, you start looking at all the areas in your life and you focus on winning other areas. You know, there's just so much winning going on. Just know whether I'm here or not, we're winning. That's what we're doing. If you want to know what we're doing, we're winning. We're in the group, we're winning in life, we're winning. We're just winning, dude. Like posting on YouTube every day, it's not necessarily winning every day, you know. But I guess it's a different business model and it's cool for some people to see. But it's just sometimes I got shit going on, and then also sometimes there's just not much to be said. And if I said some shit, it's just educating people on why there's not much to be said. I'm like, dude, people could pay for that education too. That's another fucking thing. Like, the fuck, I'd rather if something's free, I'd rather give people the education that's gonna make them money versus the education that's gonna teach them on why you should not trade because you're gonna lose money. Like, that's just me in terms of freeway. I just always prefer to make people money first. Then, if it works out for them, to get involved in my businesses if they desire to do so. So is the first link down below the description. For the money zero date options, we sell deep in the money, biggest percentage gains, highest win rate in the game. Not that we need it. Every single week we have 1 to 2 trades, make 1,000% returns. You know, which keeps the losses a lot smaller than the wins because the most you can lose is 100% of the trade, your max risk per trade. So if you set a stop loss and you get stopped out, you lose your max risk per trade. If you put, you know, the amount of money that you're going to risk, your max risk per trade, same you lost on a stop loss, into the entire value of the trade, you can let the contracts, the zero dates expire worthless and go to zero. And you don't need a stop loss. You can hold the trades that drop 70%, 7 out of 10 times they come back to life. You sell deep in the money, go green, right? And you could add to winners to increase the winning, which doubles to triple the gains. And the way to successfully get rich in the market is to add to winners. Because when you add to winners, you can set a profit stop. And if you set a profit stop, it's impossible to go green or red. If you add a loser, you get stopped out. And if you don't have a stop loss, then the trade can expire worthless and goes to zero, and you give more of a loss because you size in bigger. But if you size in bigger on wins and set profit stops, it's impossible to go green to red. So you're scaling your positions up, putting in extra R multiples, but you're not risking those extra R multiples because you get stopped out by setting a fucking profit stop instead of a stop loss, right? So stop using stop losses, trade zero dates, and start using profit stops. If you do what the fuck I said, you're gonna print 24 fucking 7. So losing's a personal choice. You guys should join the group if you want to print and gain access to the best trades. In the near future, you know, I will be launching my educational program that is going to give you, you know, access to everything it is that I'm doing in the market real time. My private section, my private channel, my private live streams. There will be live train streams. That's actually going to be the core focus of the educational program that I will be launching rather than a trade alert signal channel, right? That's what Team Roars for. The alerts, the system, the signals, in and out, fast money, you know, money trades, focus more on trading, making money rather than education. My group is going to be solely focused on the education to our system, what we're doing, but also giving you that advantage of you gain access to my trades, to my signals. But that's not the core focus. The core focus is teaching you exactly how it is, what I do. So you can do it on your own, but also so you can understand what it is that I'm doing as I doing it. So you can understand how to trade it better, how to follow it better, right? So yeah, that will be launching within time. When it is, there's going to be a waiting list. I'll be disclosing on the YouTube channel, not in the Discord. We will never ever direct message you in the Discord. If someone's direct messaging you in the Discord in person, they're impersonators, they're not us. We're never going to send you a DM in the Discord. This is a real business, we're not doing fucking DMs and direct messages in Discord. Um the things I'm associated with are in the description of my YouTube channel. Nothing more. It's as simple as that. If it's not in the description of my YouTube channel, there's no association. I'm not associated with fucking that, right? Right now we got Team Roar, real-time zero-day options trading alert system. Focus has always been on trading, trading, trading here. My company, Trader Society, the core foundational focus and purpose of that has been hiring the best traders and also education. Education, that creates the best traders, hires the best traders, and stuff like that, right? In terms of Trader Society, my educational company, that led to fucking me becoming a CEO of Team Roar. It also led to hiring the best real-time for the money zero-day options trader and creating the best zero-day trade alert system. And within time, I will be launching my self-sufficient educational program. And like I said, the core focus is to make you self-sufficient, where you learn my system and you also learn how to create your own system, right? Double-edged sword. We're gonna forge traders. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna forge traders, build them from the ground up, build them from where they're at too. I mean, most people think they're ahead in trading. Once they get on the shit that I'm on, they're gonna be like, dude, they're gonna feel like they're building straight from the ground up again. Like it's gonna be completely different shit. But anyways, it's to teach you my system. I'm not gonna gatekeep. I'll teach everyone my fucking system. It's one thing to have something that works. It's another thing to be disciplined enough to fucking do it. You know? You can do an action, but are you gonna be disciplined enough to stick to that action? And then the people lose and they blow up long term and they wonder why. They have the knowledge, but they don't have the fucking discipline to do what they're supposed to fucking do. Right? So what's the point of the fucking knowledge if you can't be disciplined enough to do what you're supposed to fucking do? Market's hard enough. But they'll go off and create their own systems, and they'll also learn my system, and they'll also get to see me do it in real time. It's one thing to show you how I do what I do. It's another thing to perform it in real time, right? But I have no interest in just operating from a blind side of just performing and following me. No, I want to show people how I do what I do so they can do it on their own and so they can do it better when they're following me and feel comfortable and confident. And then also how they can create their own systems. So it's going to be the best fucking educational program on the stock market. That will be coming soon. Like I said, I got a lot going on behind the scenes that I can't speak about. But like I said, I've been, experimenting with a lot of different living situations and just deciding on like buildings I want to live in and stuff. I've already decided on a location. Um, and then from there, it's, establishing, just a long-term place to be at once I've decided building and everything. It's a lot to figure out and go through and shit like that. But it all pays off in the end, to get to where I need to go. It all pays off. So there's gonna be big things coming soon, man. Been doing a lot of work, lots of work. So I'm signing off. First link down below in the description. Zero day options trading alert system. Far the money zero day options. Sell deep in the money. Biggest percentage gains. Highest win rate in the game. Add to winners. Gains are much bigger percentage wise and also dollar wise because we're adding to the winners. Set profit stops. No stop losses. Most you lose is what you put in. Your max risk per trade. Same loss you have when you get stopped out. If you want to join and experience our trading and trading alert system, is the first link down below within the description. In the near future, I will let you guys know when I launch my educational program, which will also include a dedicated channel to my trades, which has been highly requested for several years now. But that's not the core focus of the program. The core focus of the program is teaching you my system, but also performing in a secured, safe environment that's secured. No one can fuck with what I'm doing. No one can solicit my clients. No bullshit going on. It's just secured. People get my information. And also, there's going to be a lot more. I'm not going to go all over into it, but it's going to be extremely secure. And it's going to be focused on trading alongside me and learning with me and having like some sort of like direct access, direct communication towards me rather than a group. right? So the best you that we can create. We'll kind of be in this together in a sense. I'll help create the absolute best trader you can be, but you got to put the work in, and then you'll also help create the best trader you can be by not just doing what I'm saying, but by creating your own system, thinking by yourself. And that's something that I'll be playing a role into. I'm not trying to just play into the role of, you know, here's what you're supposed to do. Here's the system you need to use. No, I'm also on the other side of self sufficiency, where it's not just the self sufficiency that I built up in terms of my system, but also, helping traders create their own system, not just here's my system, here's how to do it. And then here's me performing with my system to show, look, I'm doing it in real time. I'm not just giving you a course. I'm not just giving you, something to fucking do after the market's already closed. No, I'm showing you that I can perform in real time. There's levels to this. Some people just perform, and that's what kind of team war is. It's performance, trading performance. Everyone's just trading. You know, they're not necessarily teaching you their system to trading. They're teaching you how to follow their system. So some would say that's gatekeeping, right? Now, obviously, can you learn in that? Yes, but eventually you outgrow it, or eventually you're just not learning as much, but it's not designed, to get you like out of that gatekeeping or to get you to the absolute peak. Now, obviously, in that environment, trading alongside that, you can level up and you can get out of it. And some people have figured that out and they've leveled up like fucking crazy. Regardless, you're gonna learn a fuck ton. But some people are looking for okay, you have a system. I don't want to just see you perform, but I do want to see you perform your system. Like, look, don't just give me the system, but show me that you're performing it in real time. So as I'm learning your system, I could see you do it in real time. And I can also see that this is not just a system that you're teaching and giving out to people, but you're actually performing and trading and working on in real time. And with everything you taught me about the system, whether that's taught on live streams, course, whatever the fuck, right, or both, I can see that you're doing it in real time and I get it. I understand it. It's real time. It's not closed off, right? So my video is going to be showing you how I perform as a trader, my trades in real time, but also how to trade using my system, and also how to create your system. Those are the three core foundations. But the core foundation isn't my performance. The core foundation is I have a system that works, do this, become self sufficient, and you can have your own system that works. You can even commingle that with my system or keep them separate. Well, obviously, some of the things in my system will be in your system regardless of what the fuck you do. But that's the point. The core focus is to transfer this system that I have to you and also help, along your journey, um, for you to create your own system. And that could be with futures, that could be with different styles for your account in your journey. But that's my main focus is doing those two things. And then of course, not just having the proof, but having, you know, the track record of performance and just the performance of, well, okay, if I want people to execute my system properly, instead of just showing them how I do, instead of just saying, look, here's a course or here's a live stream, but I'm not going to be taking action or whatever the fuck, I'm going to show them, look, here's me trading, here's me performing, this is what I do. And if you learned my system, you should understand exactly why I'm thinking what I'm thinking right now. You should understand exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I shouldn't even have to fucking explain myself. And if I needed to explain myself, then you haven't learned the system yet, right? But if people can't see me performing, they're not going to be able to tell of like of all that, and it sharpens awareness. So it's gonna be genius, man. Fucking trading performance, trading in real time, real fucking trading, right? And then real fucking system taught in real fucking time as I'm trading and also when I'm not trading, right? Off hours too. And then how to create your own system too. It's gonna be fucking genius, man. It is gonna create the absolute best genius traders. We're gonna have a lot of elite traders in all different realms. Futures, options, fucking investing, all different realms. This could be applied to um golden pieces to the system, to your own system too, right? So yeah, that's gonna be coming soon. With that being said, I'm gonna be signing off. I will see you guys within the chat from here.